am so excited that you are all here today. Like I said before, this has been a dream of mine for 10 years, and I am so thankful to God for making this come true. You are here and you were selected because you all have something to give the world. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Puerto Rico. I came here at 9 years old, did not speak a word of English, was made fun for the fact that I didn't speak a word of English, was made fun because even my kids still make fun of me because I have kind of like a Bronx accent and a Spanish accent, but it's okay. No one believed that I was going to graduate from high school. No one believed that I was going to get a college degree. No one believed that I was going to be successful in my career. And when I gave up my career in television to be a stay-at-home mom, I thought that was it, that I was just going to be a mom. But there was something in me that said, I have more to give. I have more to give. And I started volunteering in the schools. I started translating for non-English speakers. I started helping parents in the school. And I still said I have more to give. And in 2015, I was approached to be the first Latino person in government in Woodbridge Township. I'm the first, but I know I'm not going to be the last, because somewhere in this room, there's probably a future mayor of Woodbridge. I believe it. I believe that we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have teachers, we have nurses. We have it all in this room. You have it within you to achieve your dreams. Life is not easy. We all know that, some more than others. There were times in college, I graduated from Syracuse University, the first woman in my family to get a college degree. Sometimes there wasn't enough money to eat, but I had a goal. My mom always stressed education. I remember everything that we went through when we came to this country, everything that she went through. We moved here because she believed that this is the country where her kids were going to be able to achieve their dreams, especially her daughter, because she was taken out of school when she was in 8th grade. She wasn't allowed to have any dreams. She gave me wings to have dreams. I am my mother's dream. Those two young ladies that are sitting back there are my daughters. They are my dream, they are her dreams. You sitting here are your parents' dreams. Sometimes we can't express what we want for you because the world can be overwhelming. But believe me when I say that each of your parents want big things for you. They might not be able to express it in the right way. They might not be able to give you the words. But in their hearts, as a parent, we all want what's best for our children. I want to encourage you today to take advantage of this room. Women, this is strictly surrounded by women, women in power, women in positions. Ask questions. Soak everything in, because every single person that is in this room believes that each of you sitting here are going to do great things. If you need a push, you can find me anywhere in town. You can ask your counselors, hey, I want to talk to that lady. Get her in here, and I'll be there. Don't be shy about it. In me, think of me as your friend. When you see me at events, some of you are lucky and get to see me every day. But when you see me anywhere in town, if any of you needs anything, advice, a little push, a little help, feel free to reach out. This is what I'm here to do. I am here to be an example to the Latino community because I am a Latino woman, but to women, period. Because I've always said my daughters go with me everywhere. I have 2 sons too, but I always bring my daughters. Because although it's 2025, it's still a little hard for us to get to where we need to be. Surround yourself with people that are going to the place where you want to go. It's okay to outgrow friends. It's okay to leave people behind as long as you stay on path to achieve your dreams. That's all that I have to say, but I do want to thank some people here because in council, in government, we have ideas and we have dreams, but nothing happens without a group behind us. And like I said, this has been an idea, a dream for over 10 years. And I couldn't have done it without the support of our Chief of Staff, Carolyn Elrick. There are two fantastic young ladies that work in the mayor's office, and I think very highly of them, and you're going to be able to hear from one of them later. Megan Kushpa and Kelly Walsh. The idea was there in the mayor's office. We met, and then we decided to bring other women on board that were going to be able to help us. We think very highly of them. We brought in Jennifer De Jesus, who's the COO, Campus Operating Officer of Berkeley College. Melissa Coden, who's a high school and community relations for Berkeley College. Angie Circus, who's the Senior Vice President for government banking at Northfield Bank. Jen Stokel and Joanne Pavlish. Jen is the Division Head of Youth Services here in Woodbridge Township, and Joanne works in Youth Services. Sharonda Amon, Wellspring Center for Prevention. Nicole Lawrence, Sustainability Specialist for Woodbridge Township. Eileen Caggiano, Recreation Coordinator. We also have Madison De Kushpa, I was going to say Madison De Jesus. We have Madison Kushpa from EMT and Jasmine Anaya from EMT. Because an amazing thing has happened in the 10 years that I've been on council. We now have women firefighters in a lot of our firehouses in our district. We have police women, but I know it took them a little longer, you know, the firehouses to get in touch with the program, but now I'm proud to say that Woodbridge Township has a couple of women firefighters. I'm gonna open it up to our panelists. I'm gonna invite them to come to the front so that we could begin our program. Our panelists are Angie Circus from Northfield Bank, Megan Kushpa, Nicole Lawrence, Gabrielle Bartnick, Eleonora Lawrence, Brianna De Jesus, and Jasmine Anaya. They are going to talk to you about their careers and how they got to where they're at. Feel free to ask questions. All I ask is that you are respectful and give them your uninvited attention. So I'm gonna make sure that we go this way. I think it will be easier to just come and pass the mic over. This young lady is Brianna De Jesus, my daughter, and I'm super proud of her. And she was open to the idea of sharing some of the stuff that she's been through as a college student and as a young lady. Thank you.
I'm gonna stand up so I can see everyone. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for being here. Getting out of bed in itself is a great accomplishment, so really pat yourselves on the back for that. And so I'm gonna start off with that I've lived here my whole entire life. I've grown up in Woodbridge Township School District, and how many of us have dreamt of, okay, when my mom said, oh, some of you guys are gonna be like an officer in Woodbridge, y'all are like, not me. Like, I wanna get out of this town. And that's a normal thought to have, but as I've grown up, having that thought, it has really diminished because of the sense of how important community is. So my little spiel today is about being weird. Weirdness is defined as being uncanny or supernatural. And that's something that I've always been called. I've been in friend group with the football players, with people in band, with everyone. I've always loved talking to a lot of people. And that has been such a great blessing in my life and has garnered the title of weird. So I'm going to tell you where weird has gotten me. In elementary school, I was weird enough to race the boys in track. And all the other girls, you know, now we have that term called pick-me girl, the girl that gets attention. But I just really loved running. And I started to get insecure a little bit because I didn't want to race the boys because I liked them. I didn't want to race the boys because I wanted attention. I raced because I loved running, just for the joy of running. So being weird got me to be one of the fastest girls, and out of all the boys, the fastest in track and field in elementary school. Going to middle school, I went to Ross Street School 11 and usually go to Woodbridge, but I went to Islam Middle School and I didn't know anyone there. I'm sorry, I'm like shaking a little bit. So when I went to Islam Middle School, I wasn't nervous per se, but I was like, I'm starting from zero. I have no friends. But I remember my first day of school outfit. Mustaches were like a popular trend. I don't know what year that was, but my shirt had like mustaches on it, and I was weird for that. And so weird enough and bold to, despite not knowing anyone, I wanted to run for class president. And I created a rap, and I rapped in front of an auditorium, and I got class president that year. And being weird still has allowed me to have some of the best friends from when I was 11 years old to now 23 years old. And we have just grown up together. And without me taking that step to, despite not knowing anyone, being class president, I have great relationships that I hold so clearly to my heart. Then I went to Woodbridge High School, and Woodbridge High School, I was homecoming queen, despite again doing another shift. And I knew some of the girls there because I went to elementary school with them, but again it was like starting from ground zero. But I knew that my weirdness would take me places. I knew that being the girl that talks and actually participates in class and not afraid of what anyone is going to think will bring me places. And although homecoming queen is a title, it just shows like kindness, and it shows like how willing I am able and willing to talk to anyone, no matter what background they have, no matter what religion they have, no matter what gender, whatever identity that people found themselves in. So going to college was really challenging. I transferred 3 times and I changed my major 3 times. And there was a certain point after my second time transferring, I was gonna drop out and become a YouTuber. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna do lifestyle vids, wake up. Even though I didn't go to school, I don't know what I would vlog about, just me waking up, cooking meals. But my boyfriend at the time, he was like, just try one more time. And I was like, okay. So I found myself at Kane University. And if any of you guys are looking for colleges, Kane University, just talk to me. I really love that school with all my heart. And I told myself, I don't really like school, but I'm gonna give it my all. If you don't like something, it's just so important to give it your 100%, because you don't know if you'll find a person along the way. You don't know if you're gonna get another opportunity. And during this time, I played basketball, I did cross country, I was very athletic, but when I entered college, it was a little challenging for me, and I was really anxious, and that manifested into an eating disorder. So I struggled with binge eating and OCD, anorexia, for about a year and a half. And that's why I'm so grateful for our SAC counselors, especially Miss Joa and Miss Linda Cologne, because even though I graduated high school, I still had that connection. And I was so nervous to open up to my mom that I was eating in private, that I wasn't eating at all, and that I was purging even. So I reached out to Miss Joa, and I said, Miss Joa, like, I love food. This can't be me. Like, I'm very outgoing. I was homecoming queen. I was on varsity basketball. Like, everyone knows me. Like, how can I be struggling with an eating disorder? And she's like, Bree, like, it's okay to ask for help. So my first year of college, I sought therapy, I talked to different people, and I was weird enough to, despite my eating disorder, still go outside for events, not isolate myself in my room, because I knew that despite like having that shift of a girl who's confident to now who's insecure about her body, that I had to be weird enough to take that step to heal. And I'm grateful today because I have been eating healthy ever since, through like great support and everything like that. And now that I'm about to graduate college, and I still have dreams of becoming a writer, I just got accepted to NYU Summer Publishing Institute. And I'll be writing children's books, especially about eating disorders, because a lot of research shows that eating research and eating disorders lack within the BIPOC community, Black, Indigenous, and Brown community, and especially it's seen as a, quote, white girl issue, and that harms our white, beautiful sisters as well, because eating insecurities, it goes beyond race and it goes beyond ethnicity. So again, I'm just so grateful to be here today, and thank you guys so much for listening. And one thing I could just I'm gonna finish off that it's okay to be weird. It's okay to do the uncanny things, participate in class. It's okay to ask for help, because you are beautiful and there's only one you. So thank you.
Good morning. If you think she's nervous, you should feel my legs right now. Okay. She's kind of used to it. I'm not. So my name is Jasmine. As Ms. De Jesus said, I'm one of the EMTs in town. We just recently opened police EMS in town approximately 4 months ago. I was born in New York. I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story. I was born in New York. I was 3 months old when my biological mother gave me an adoption to a wonderful family who I call my parents. And I did it backwards. Instead of staying in New York, my parents decided to move to Puerto Rico when I was 4. My biological mother is also Puerto Rican, so it was in my genes, but I moved to Puerto Rico when I was 4. I was raised in Puerto Rico, full-blown Spanish. My English today, it's still, people make fun of me, but it's okay, because I'm the one who they call at 3 o'clock in the morning, because the 911 came in and nobody speaks English in the house. So keep making fun of me, but don't call me at 3 o'clock. I'm joking. Everybody calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's #1 rule. When I was living in Puerto Rico with my adopted parents, I were a little older. My mom had a stroke when I was 7 years old. So I'm having a perfect childhood, only schools, watching TV, and riding my bike and going to the beach every day. I become the woman of the house. My mom was bedbound. My mom taught me how to cook while she was in bed. So it took me a little bit to burn the rice, to not put enough water, to put too much water, to burn the chicken, to not knowing how to do it. I did it all by my own when I was 7 years old. My mom rice is the thing. Right? Rice is the thing, yes. So my mom was the kitchen. My mom's room was next to the kitchen. So she'll be like 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. But I didn't measure the cup right. So it was either too soft or too hard, or never got cooked, or it got burned because I was watching TV. So that happened a lot until I finally learned. When I was 14 years old, my mom passed away. I think that was, sorry, one of the toughest moments of my life. Depression was part of my life for a period of time. But I could tell that, I could say I thank God for my friends, and I thank God for my Spanish teacher at the moment in Puerto Rico. There was the one who got me up in bed every morning and said, you got to do this. You're only 14 years old. As I got out of that depression, I learned that the power is in me. I had a good friend system, and my friends, one of my 2 best friends' parents was always there, but it's all about me. You know, people can tell you every day, you got this, you got this, you got this. You got to think about yourself. You got to look at it in you. And each one of you have that power in you. You might not think you don't, but you have it. At 14 years old, I become a woman of the house. I raised my little brother. I graduated high school, decided to come to the United States. I was at King University. I was here with my oldest sister, who worked 3 jobs. So she was there, but I was still a little alone and trying to push through it. And every day I wake up, and my only thought every day was, if my mom was alive, what would I do to make my mother proud? And that's how I lived my entire life, even as of today. I went to college. I dropped out of college. Please don't do that. Just think about it. But I did drop out of college. I became a mother. I was a single mother for a period of time, but there was always something in me that say, I want more. I see myself more than just being a single mother and a home just cleaning. I always wanted more. I worked for FedEx Express for 8 years, and I went from being a package handler to actually manage the hiring process for FedEx Express in the airport with the I was the helper assistant of the manager. Still, I wanted more. I wanted more. There was that fire in me that always tell me I want more, I want more. And every day I'd be like, where my mom wanted me to be, where my mom wanted me to be. I remember my mom always said, you always wanted to be a doctor. I always wanted to be a doctor. I always wanted to be a pediatrician. I love kids. That was my heart and soul. When COVID hit, we all know we all got stuck home. I was still going to work. Oh, you guys are too small. Did you guys were even, How old were you when COVID hit? 4 or 5? How? 5 years ago. Okay, you guys were young. 3? How old are you guys? 14, 15? So 9, 8. Okay, some of you guys know what is the online computer. I still use paperwork. You guys are gonna make fun of me. I still have an agenda. I do everything old school on papers, okay? And then I pass it, and then I put it in my Google Calendar. But you guys know that more than that. When COVID hit, I wanted to help. I always wanted to help, and you know, COVID was a trauma for everybody. That's how I decided that I wanted to go back to school, and I wanted to seek my dream, which was being in the medical field. And that's how I found the EMT program, which I originally wanted to nursing. I'm not saying I'm not going for nursing, because I'm gonna keep moving up, but right now I'm good where I'm enjoying my emergency services. And I become an EMT. Honestly, I'm 36 years old. Somebody told me around there that I looked younger, but I'm not. I'm 36 years old. My son will be 17 in 3 weeks. I was the oldest person in my classroom in EMT school, and everybody made fun of me being the oldest, and everybody made fun of me of my accent. Like, there was medical stuff in the book that I didn't understand. Google Translate is the best tool you could ever find in life. I was so excited when I found about it. And I always said, you know what, and somebody in the classroom actually told me, like, you're too old for this. I'm like, I'm never gonna be old. You know, I'm not too old for that. I have it in me. If I have the goal, I'm gonna get to it. I don't care who I'm gonna push through or move through, I have it in me. And I did it. I went to take the state test, and I cried after I took the test, because between me being nervous and my Spanglish, because I speak Spanglish, I don't speak Spanish or English, I speak Spanglish. I thought I had failed the test, and I passed my test in the first try, compared to other people that told me you're not gonna make it. You're old, you don't speak the language, you know, a lot of people are gonna be negative around you. But I choose to put that people away, that words away, and believe in myself, and only take the positive people that were around me and surround me about positive people. You could do it, you got this, you'll make the difference. I've been working in the town in one of the Woodbridge agencies for 2 years. And then when the police department decided to open their division, I got called by our director and said, I would like you to apply. So if there's somebody around you that are gonna tell you you're not gonna make it to college, you're not gonna make it to your career, you can't be a doctor, you can't be a lawyer, you can't be whatever you want, shut them off, tell them to go. Whatever word you wanna use, I'm not encouraging you guys to curse at anybody, but shut that door. You have it in you, the fire is in you, and if you set your goal and that's where you're gonna go, just go for it. Don't stop. Surround yourself with people that are willing to support you. Just like they say, I'm always around. You will always see me in an ambulance, either in Woodbridge or you will see me in Avenel, but I'm always around. So if I ever go to your school or you ever see me around town and you need to talk to somebody, feel free, come and approach me. I'm always around. I've always been open to talk to anybody. Okay, so if you woke up this morning thinking, I really don't want to go there, it's just boring, they're gonna talk, and I'm letting you know, please don't have those thoughts, put them to side. You have it. Each one of you guys have it in you. And I could see doctors, nurses sitting in this room. When I get old, please remember me, treat me right when I go to your office, be nice to me. You guys got it. Okay?
Good morning, good morning. Okay, my name is Gabby. It's very nice to be here today. I'm actually not from Woodbridge, but I have spent the past 6 months here over the summer with my best friend Nicole, attending beauty school, actually getting my nail license. So, thank you. It's been a long road to get where I am. To start, I guess I'll preface by saying that I am my mother's dream, but also paving my own path, because a lot of the time I've lived in my parents' shadow of what they wanted me to do, and kind of skewed my decisions in terms of what I really wanted to pursue in my career. So in high school, I went to vocational school in Wayne, New Jersey, and I studied criminal justice for 4 years, also influenced by my father, who wanted me to go to West Point, which is hilarious. And thinking about me in like an army school is crazy. It's like giving Cadet Kelly. I don't know if you saw that movie with Hilary Duff, but anyway, it was just not feasible for me, but I did give him kind of tried to satisfy him. So I did 4 years of criminal justice in high school, and then I figured it's not really for me, so let me try something else in college. My first semester in college, I majored in athletic training, and I was lying to myself again because I was like, oh, maybe I'll do physical therapy. You know, I've played sports my whole life. Maybe we'll go into that route. My first semester in college, I passed the course for athletic training and whatnot, but I was like, this is also not for me. I'm spending a lot of money here at school, like let's actually figure out what we want to do. So I decided to switch majors into communications and media arts, and I found my niche actually. I loved writing, I loved being very just creative, so it kind of let me have that creative outlet, and I found PRSSA, which is the Public Relations Student Society of America, which is a great club that you can join in college, and it basically connects you with a bunch of public relations professionals, which is now where I'm at, which is a publicist at DeVries Global in New York. I work on the Sephora and Kohl's accounts, and when I tell you those are no joke, those are no joke. These companies are crazy, as you know. And I'm sure you guys are all up in the Sephora craze. I know the Sephora tween story is going crazy right now. But yeah, so almost 4 years in, I decided that PR is probably also not really what I want to do. So I went back to school to get my skincare license about 2 years ago. And then I figured I was still not done because nails are my first passion. So I went back to school recently at Perth Amboy here at Robert Fion's and got my nail license. Now I work at a salon, but still at the PR agency, so I'm pulling 7 days a week. I don't necessarily recommend that to everybody, but it's what I have to do for now. So kind of just rolling with the punches, making the sacrifices I need to make to have my own career moving forward. But I joke with my dad sometimes, I'm like, we could have skipped a lot of steps coming here because I wanted to be in cosmetology in high school, but I mean, you know, I did everything quote unquote by the book, but ultimately I guess my testament is that you can do everything the way someone tells you to do, but ultimately it's really up to you to choose the path that you want. So I hope today you are encouraged to kind of, you know, obviously listen to your parents. I'm not saying don't do that because they are a good source to listen to. But definitely I want to empower you to do what you want to do. And yes, that was a weaker ending than I expected, but thank you.
Tough acts to follow. Hi, my name is Ellie Lawrence, Eleanor Lawrence. I am a vice president in information security at a wealth management firm here in Woodbridge. I was surprised when I was asked to participate, but understanding the goal of this gathering, it's really important that you see people like you in roles that are what people might think unachievable. So my daughters used to say, I don't see representation. And I didn't really understand that when they were growing up. I don't see people like me. And I've never saw color. I grew up in a very diverse household. And so when they used to say that to me, I struggled with it. But then I understand, because if you don't see someone who looks like you, you can't fathom achieving that. And so once I understood and I got it, I was like, okay. So it motivated me to provide that for my children. So my story is how many of you guys have parents that are not from this country? Good amount of us. So I am actually not from this country. I moved here with my parents when I was 8. My ESL teacher was German. I learned how to speak English in Germany. I started elementary school in the United States when I was 9 or 10, and I was actually pulled back a grade. So it was that difficult. I struggled. School was not my favorite. I struggled a lot in school. I actually ended up graduating a semester late. And then right after high school, I got pregnant. So had my first child at age 19. I knew I wanted to go to school, There was always something in me that said I needed to get my education. That was my mom's goal for us, was for us to get higher education. My mother actually graduated high school, but that was the highest school education that she received. But my mother was a very determined person. My mom spoke 6 different languages, had a career as a translator, fought hard for us to come to the States. When we came here, it was, you're an American now, be an American. So I only know 2 languages. The goal was not for me to, grow up to be like her. My mom wanted us to create our own paths. And I did the same for my children. And what my mom taught us was that we are her legacy, and my children are my legacy. So for someone who barely graduated high school, pregnant at 19, I am 50 years old and am in school about to receive my first bachelor's. But even without a college degree, having the same determination that my mom had, I am a vice president. I am working for a prominent bank. I have a team that I lead. I've never felt confident to share that with people in public. I've always lied about my age because my daughter's 30, I'm 50. They're going to figure it out that I was a teen mom. I don't have a degree. I can't tell people what my role is. So I've always had that embarrassment and that shame. But then as I talk to my kids and I see how proud my kids are of me, I see what they've achieved. They've given me the confidence to be able to live my truth. And be able to share with people that, no, I don't have a college degree, but how I got here was people. Your network, sharing your dreams with people. Councilwoman De Jesus says, reach out to me. Reach out to her. Because you never know who she might know that could provide you whatever resources you need. You never know what she might know that could give you the motivation you need to achieve your dreams. And like Gabby said, know what you want and know how to ask for what you want. Because as a parent, if my child says, I want this and I know I want this, as a parent, I'm going to do everything I can to support my child in what they want. And it's the same with the people that are around you. There are people, your council, school council, counselors. English is not my first language, forgive me. Your teachers, even your peers. When you share with your peers, always know who you're sharing with. There's people who are always going to be able to have like your back and say, I know who you can talk to. And then those people who are not going to have your back. So that's the first thing that I would advise to you, is really have a good network, know who to lean on, don't be afraid to share, because the only way that I'm standing here right now and able to tell you my story is because of people who've had my back. Every career move that I've made was because someone had confidence in me and said, you can do this. The position that I'm in right now, it was because someone said to me, you better raise your hand because you can do that. And it's other people who had confidence in me that pushed me up. And it was the most unlikely resources. My last job that I had a gentleman say to me, why aren't you raising your hand? And I looked at him like, well, I don't have education. I can't do that. And he says, well, you're doing it right now. And it took me a minute to think about it. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing it right now. And so I raised my hand. And like I said, every career I've had, it was people who looked at me and said, you can do this. Why aren't you doing it? And so I thank Councilwoman De Jesus, because that's what she's doing here. She's saying, we can do it, and you can do it. And so this is your first resource. This is your first motivation to say there are people out here who may have had it worse than you, or you may think they had it better than you, but that's not the case. I mean, I really struggled being a young mom, and I'm proud to say that without a college education, being a teen mom, I have a child, I have a legacy who graduated Columbia with her master's summa cum laude. I have another one who is currently in Milan now, working for 40 days. She's traveling and she's working as a chef. And so these are things that I would have never imagined. And I am my mom's legacy, and they are my legacy. So if nothing else, think of it in those terms. What legacy do you want to leave? And there are people out here who will support that and support you in that.
Hello, let me back up. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole, and as you guys can see, I have my best friend who I've been friends with since first or second grade here, and my mom. And it just goes to show what having an amazing support group can do for you. So if anything, I'd say lean on your trusted friends and family and people around you in the community to help get where you want to go. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want and speak up. But I'm also gonna focus my talk on actually independence, because at the end of the day, it is your life. And I know that a lot of people struggle with having a support group as amazing as mine and other people's. So I want to just talk about how I've structured independence as the center of my focus to be able to achieve my goals. Basically, I have always been raised to be very independent. My mom said that when I was like 7 days old, my grandma took me out to New York City because she wanted to visit New York City. And I don't know if you let a baby that young out, but I'm still here thriving. But I think the reason I say that is because I've always traveled by myself. I've gone out by myself. I went to South Korea when I was 17 alone. The year after that, I went to France. I've been to London. All these things I've done on my own because I wanted to have these experiences regardless of if my friends could or didn't want to go, or any limitations I had. You have to be completely comfortable with being alone and being your own best friend, because if you allow other people to limit you from having these experiences, it will have an impact on your life. I'm just thinking about what I want to structure this around. So yeah, basically how I got here is, does anyone know what sustainability is? Is anyone familiar with the current state of our planet and the environment? Raise your hand if you are. Okay, I was a little worried for a second. As you guys know, our Earth is warming up at a very alarming rate as a result of us humans producing stuff at a rate that it just can't handle. And so we have a very finite amount of resources on the planet. Some of them are renewable, meaning they can be replenished and used again and again, and others are non-renewable, which means once we use them up, they're gone. And as someone who just growing up has a really fond respect for nature, I wanted to see if there was anything that I could do about it. And so I started to develop a career focused around the environment, and that is called sustainability. It's in the word. To sustain means to maintain something for a long period of time, and the ability is the action to do something. So in my career that I've developed, basically what I do is I look at a lot of the natural resources that we have and other things in our society that we use on a regular basis, and try to find ways to make them last for generations to come, from yours to the ones after you and the ones following. That's my whole focus, because at the end of the day, we only have one planet. As much as these wealthy people like to think we can go to another planet and do all the things, that's not how it works. So that's where my career is focused, but I'll talk about how I actually got there. I first started at an undergrad focusing on business strategy. My dad is an entrepreneur. I've always been focused on business and finance, and that's where I originally started. But I also had a particular interest in fashion, and I thought at the end of the day, I had to choose between that. But I slowly realized that the fashion industry, as glamorous as it is actually a business in and of itself. And so I was able to find a career within fashion and business. And then I continued going on and realized, wait, the fashion industry is actually incredibly damaging to the environment as well. And so ultimately I was able to combine my career and my passions to focus on sustainability within fashion. And I graduated during the pandemic from my undergrad, and it sparked an interest in me to launch my own fashion brand where I used textiles that would otherwise go to landfill. I used those scraps to create swimsuits, and I sold that for about 3 years. It did really well, but again, I launched this during the pandemic. So there are a lot of things that were happening in my personal life and just in the market in general that made it a little bit challenging to be an entrepreneur. And so I took a step back from that after I sold my inventory, and I realized within my career, I said, okay, I think I want to work for a company now. I want to help manage and make their impact within house. And I realized a lot of the jobs were asking for you to have 5 to 6 years of experience or to be a manager. And I thought, well, I don't have 5 to 6 years of experience, so let me go look into getting my master's degree. So I did some research, and ultimately I went to Columbia University to get my Master's of Science in Sustainability Management, and that is kind of how I ended up where I am today. I am really proud of that career or that academic accomplishment because I am first generation undergrad and master's degree within my family. Thank you. And also, for those of you who don't know, only 8 to 9% of Black women in the US have a master's degree. So it's just a really profound accomplishment to have. Thank you. And lastly, 4% of Black people graduated from Columbia. So as you can see, there are a lot of trailblazing actions that are taking place here. But as my mom mentioned, representation is really important. But the reason why independence is so even more important than that is because when you don't see yourself in those situations, when you don't see other Black women in positions that you want to be in, you have to think outside of that. You have to realize, I am skilled, I am passionate about this thing, I'm capable of anything that I want if I'm able to achieve it. I do not need validation from outside sources to confirm that I can have this thing. And once you're able to do that, you can have whatever you want. Exhibit A. So the reason I want to reel it back into independence is because, like I said, you might have friends that don't want to go to the school that you want to go to, or don't want to go to the concert that you want to go to, or the country that you want to visit. You might have a significant other that wants to have their own life and do other things. Do not attach your value or your life experiences to other people, because at the end of the day, it's your own life. So find the validation within yourself, believe that your goals are achievable, and go out and get them. The last thing I'm going to say is that when it comes to creating a plan to achieve your goals, use technology to get the information to create that plan, but then remember to take a step back, because I think technology has made us, the goal of social media and advertisement is to gain our attention and distract us. So we need to focus and realize that if you are able to dedicate consistent time to something, you give it the potential for it to grow, it will grow. Just stay focused and be consistent. Remember that any small increment per day is still change towards where you want to go. Consistency is key. Try to stay focused as much as you can and set boundaries around your interactions with people, negative interactions, social media. You can genuinely achieve what you want to achieve when you focus. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Kushpa. I am Mayor McCormick's Deputy Communications Director, and let me tell you something pretty cool about that. when my boss retires in 2 to 3 years, I will be Woodbridge Township's first ever female director of communications. And I'm really proud of that because I was born here, born and raised in Port Reading. I went to School 9, I went to Avenel Middle, where my Wildcats at. Woo woo. And then I went to Bishop Bar. I went to Rutgers for my undergrad, and I went back while I was working full-time for my master's in public relations. So you guys have been listening to a lot of really inspiring women up here, and I know you've been listening for a long time, so I just want to leave you with one really important thing, and that's to be bold and make sure that you guys do not hesitate to ask for what you want. So when I was an undergrad at Rutgers, I needed an internship, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was studying political science, but I really had an interest in history, but I knew that even though teaching is amazing, and I give all of you teachers and advisors a hand, I couldn't do it. It was not for me. So I studied political science, minored in history, and double minored with multimedia and communications. And when I was looking for an internship, I just had the idea to go onto the township website. I'm like, I love my hometown. Let me see if I can make a difference here. And I pulled up the mayor's email address and I said, hi, my name is Megan. Can I have an internship? So I didn't think I was going to hear back. I actually didn't hear back, I don't think, for like 4 months. So I went out and was trying to find a part-time job for the summer. And eventually I heard back. I was brought in for an internship. That was when I was 20 years old. I'm now 28. I have not let him fire me. So I'm really, really proud of the work I do here. If I'm here to help you guys as a public servant, if you guys are interested in writing, in event coordination, we work with our TV 35 crew, who is also run by the first female director of TV 35, Gina Forbes, who is also a Port Reading woman. So if you guys have any interest in any of that, please never hesitate to reach out to our office because we are here to serve you guys, to help you learn. Again, be bold. Do not be afraid to ask for what you want because if you don't step out of your comfort zone, then you will not get to where these amazing women are. So I just want to leave you with that. Do not be afraid to ask for what you want. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I'm the last one, and this is a very tough act to follow. Welcome, everyone. My name is Angie. I was honored when Councilwoman De Jesus asked me to be on this panel today. I'm going to share my story briefly. I came to this country from Greece when I was 11 years old. I went to school because I had to, without speaking a lick of English. I know how to say hello and goodbye, but that's it. They put me in ESL classes, but no one spoke Greek. Everybody was speaking English, so I really had to learn. In the cafeteria, I sat by myself in the corner. I was bullied. I was made fun of. But you know what? I persevered, and I said, you know what? It's okay. Let them say what they want. I will be okay. And I did overcome all the obstacles. I went to ESL classes, and I had a lot of mentors in middle school and in high school as well, because they told me that I can do it. I did not stay back because they gave me my tests and I was able to write and read, but I was unable to speak. My accent still comes around, and I had a problem with it until a few years ago when I said, you know what, it's okay. I'm different, but that's okay. You know, and if I mispronounce words, my two children sometimes still make fun of me that I mispronounce things, but it's okay. We overcome things, you know, and we have it inside of us because we're strong women and we can do anything. Anything we want to put our mind to it, we can absolutely do. You have a great support system, your school counselors, your mentors. I mentored a few kids a few years ago, and as a matter of fact, it was during COVID that I think it was, I had two girls and two young men that came to my office, and we became very close. They went on to college, but they were so appreciative. They came in every Wednesday. We sat down, we spoke about their challenges, their how to overcome things, and their triumphs. And I'm glad that they did. We still keep in touch. We made things together, and it was a great opportunity for me to bond with these young people, and for them to ask me, how I came to be a senior vice president for Northfield Bank, having a staff, being with the bank for 36 years. I moved up the ladder, and I did it all because I am a strong woman, and each and every one of you, there's a strong young woman inside you. You have the opportunity to do it. We're all here to help you. From Councilwoman, from Caroline, who is amazing, each and every one of us, we're here to help you. We're only a phone call away. We can mentor you, we can help you with anything you need. Whatever you need to do it from your heart, because you're unique, and you will be rewarded. I hope today you get this is a great opportunity for you. I wish I had this type of opportunity when I was your age, but you're lucky because you have it. Use any one of us and to your opportunity, and we're here to help you. Thank you.